Hi, I'm Mike Morales. You are watching and listening to Sipping Off the Cuff on Tequila Aficionado Media on all of our channels. I am sitting here in the heart of the San Gabriel Valley. That gentleman out there is
Rick Levy in the Highlands of San Diego.
in the Highlands of San Diego. Rick and I have the distinct pleasure of dissecting another celebrity tequila. All right. Yeah, I know. I know. For those of you who they want to know who the celebrity is, okay, first let me show you the tequila. This is Casa Mexico. Now, if this tequila looks familiar to you, it's because you've probably seen it. You've seen guys like Mario Lopez, who is a partner in this brand. Yeah, with the $1 million dimples, and also Golden Boy. That's right, Oscar de la Hoya, the Olympic champion and the people's champion, who is now, I guess he's a promoter now, as well as a philanthropist and all kinds of stuff. He's also involved in the brand. And to be honest, I was telling Rick, I met Don Buccio or Buccio. I'm really hoping I'm not, destroying his name. He's the original owner of the brand, and then he brought in these two guys that he met that he's known for a while. And I met him and interviewed him a couple of years ago at the Arizona Taco Fest. He was there sampling his tequila, and I have been trying to get it on Sipping Off the Cuff ever since. It took us 2 years. We finally got it, and we fell all over ourselves with the Blanco. Yeah, buddy. What do we know about this one so far, Rick? Do we know anything special about the? This is the Reposado we're looking at.
Yeah, so the Reposado, it's a 6-month Reposado. I'm not seeing any indication of the types of barrels they're using.
They're saying it is American white oak and it is virgin.
There we go.
They're saying it's new white oak, which is really interesting because.
Interesting.
Well, here's the thing. Take a look at this Reposado. It's fairly light for a new barrel. Now maybe this is a used barrel batch. They were virgin when we bought them. But anyway, I just thought.
So I'm detecting something interesting on the Blanco that I have. I have an artificial stopper.
Right.
Which, is perfectly fine.
Synthetic. It's okay.
And then on this Repo, I've got natural cork.
Is it natural or is this a what do they call it? A compound? I don't want to call it a compound.
Oh, a composite?
A composite, that's it.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely cork, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's a composite cork, but it's a cork. And that's okay. I mean, what, are you getting leaching or something? Has it?
Oh, I don't know. I just noticed the different cork. I thought I'd call attention to it.
I like what they did with the topper. The stopper also has. We forgot to show that. It's got the Casa Mexico logo. I don't know if you can see that on my camera. And the style of the tequila as well. It says Reposado right there across the top.
Oh yeah, and they're coloring the stoppers to match the age of the tequila.
Okay, all right.
That's a light one for the Blanco, and then
we nominated the Blanco for packaging and also for Brand of Promise. It is outstanding. Now I'm using my Stossel Jarrito, which is the one with the wider mouth. I like using this one every once in a while. We normally save these for mezcal, but I've got a limited amount of these Jarritos out. And again, very pale for a 6-month-old in new American white oak barrels.
Mm. Well, could if they were new barrels, they wouldn't how does the toasting work? Like, do they have to toast the barrels on a new barrel, or?
I think it depends on the person buying them. I'm not sure
If the level of toast on the inside of the barrel could have something to do with the color.
Well, it's not. There's some people like to toast them, and some of them char them. If this is not charred, obviously, so it might be lightly toasted. They're not telling us on the information. It just says that they're, brand new. I would imagine that you'd want to, because that's the reason of aging it in. So when you toast it, or if you char it, that it releases some of the oils that are inherent in the wood, so that it plays with the liquid. But it's obvious to me from the Blanco. This smells a lot like the Blanco. You notice that the wood notes are very faint. And it seems to me that the toast is light on purpose, because they want to still highlight the agave. Makes sense to me.
It does.
There's a little bit more alcohol on this one. I'm getting not a lot, just enough, just what you would expect. Are you getting any of the brightness that we got in the Blanco? I'm getting less of the citrus, and maybe it's more muted, I think.
I think I'm still getting, there's still the great Highlands agave presence there. And I think that includes the citrus. I'm getting that. I'm trying to pull out the wood notes. There is a difference in the aroma. It's there are wood notes there.
Yeah, maybe it hasn't opened up for me yet, and I know that if I'm looking at them, and the legs and tears are spectacular. They're just natural.
They really are.
They're not. There's nothing in there artificial. You can just see it. It's exactly what Rick said with the Blanco. It's just clean. It's a clean tequila. Nowadays we're getting a lot worse. There's a big rigmarole about tequilas using additives. What people don't understand is that additives are allowed according to the normas, according to the rules of making tequila. You can do it. You can put it, but it's the option of the brand owner and the maker whether they want to use it or not. And to me, it's obvious that they don't. If you're growing your agave properly, why dress it up and enhance it with something that is just going to make it smell like something else?
Right. And when you're dealing with an artisanal brand and the smaller batches, they shouldn't have a need for those additives. You would think that would be more for the larger brands. They're producing in larger volumes, and they're concerned about consistency from lot to lot.
Well, I want to dive in. I want to see if I can get any more wood notes. So here you go, man. Wow. Here's what I'm going to say about that. The only reason that this has been rested in wood isn't to bring out the wood. It's to soften the edges of the Blanco.
You think so?
Yeah, the wood is really secondary. Is a secondary supporting player.
It's subtle. I am getting some oak though.
It's muted, and that's not a bad thing, because the Blanco is so good that it's okay. I'm not missing it.
And offline we were talking about how the Blanco was sort of old school. Mm-hmm. And maybe this representation of a Reposado is more old school as well.
Well, back in the day, again, I'll go back to some of the old classics, like the old Cazadores before it was bought by Bacardi. Present day Cabrito is one of those, that comes out of Centinela, where the Reposado, it was always difficult to make a Reposado, because you can mess it up so easily. But this really harkens back to a lot of old school reposados that maybe families had grown up with. They didn't like the blanco so much, so you put it in the wood, and it softens the edges a little bit.
Softens it, maybe warms it a little.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm getting here. And again, not a bad thing. I think they went for the old school classic flavor profile, and I'm good with that. I love, because Rick and I grew up with that kind of a, where you could buy cazadores for 18, 19, 20 bucks, and you knew what you were getting. Nowadays, you buy that brand and you have artificial agave smell. Go figure.
Don't buy that brand.
Yeah, don't even. So are we still getting the same effects on the palate as we did with the blanco, or is the wood more on the palate than it is in the?
Well, I think we've traded some of the pepper for a little bit of wood spice, and just a small amount. I'm finding the pepper effect a little bit less intense on the reposado, which would be expected, and especially in this style of reposado that we've been describing.
Right.
But I think I'm getting just a hint of wood spice, a little bit of oakiness, just a touch, maybe just slightly sweeter than the blanco.
Yeah.
And it has warmed up a little bit from the blanco.
Yeah. I agree. I like it. This is what's our price point? Oh, you know what? Before we go there, let me just tell you where it comes from, just so you know. It's NOM 1455. It is Fábrica de Tequila El Nacimiento. For those of you who are following us, there are only 9 brands that come out of here, and I've had 2 of them, maybe 4. But Cruz del Sol, for the followers out in Arizona, they're familiar with that. Fino Tequila, they're competing in the 2020 Brands of Promise. El Nacimiento competed in 2019 Brands of Promise. That's the flagship brand. And it's funny because, Rick, I never, when we solicit these tequilas, we do them over and over again, and I never really pay attention to how many times and how many brands come out of there until we actually get the brand and do the research. But it never occurred to me that this brand comes out of that small distillery, because wow, I am impressed as hell. And Fino Tequila scored very well in the 2020 Brands of Promise. So if you're watching us, it's 2021, and we are no longer sequestered in place. We are, now meeting in droves.
Yeah. President Trump has gotten the vaccine to everyone.
Yeah, I know. I'm still waiting for the lump in my shoulder to go down. They wanted to give it to me in my butt, and I said no, because I wouldn't be able to.
Well, yeah. No, I think President Trump recommended that everyone should take it in the butt.
Yeah. Wait. Okay, that's as political as we get, boys and girls. Okay, so will you agree with me? Brand of Promise nominee in the Reposado.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What's the price point at Old Town?
So I think the MSRP is around 45, and you can get it at Old Town for 38.
No kidding.
Yeah, pick it up.
Oh.
Serve it to your friends now that you can have them back over again.
Yeah, well, the 6-foot barbecue over there.
Yeah.
We're just playing with the timeline again. It's kind of like Marvel does. But that's okay, because you know what? Sipping off the cuff we invented this type of tasting online. We've been doing it for 20 years when it was only audio. Now it's come full circle. Now we're doing video and audio. So if you're listening to us on Spotify, please download and subscribe. Anything else we want to say about Casa Mexico, except for the fact that Golden Boy and Mario are owners?
It's just bringing back great memories of some brands of the past.
Yeah, it does. It really harkens back to brands of the past. If you miss the old days, the good old days when tequila was tequila, when men were men and women were women, and and prices were low. then you want this tequila. Very well done. Congratulations to Casa Mexico. But that's our take on this Brand of Promise nominee for 2021 in the Reposado category. I'm Mike Morales here in the San Gabriel Valley. That gentleman out there is
Rick Levy in Escondido, California.
You have been listening and watching to Sipping Off the Cuff on Tequila Aficionado Media on all of our networks. Please follow us on Instagram, YouTube, Pinterest. We're on Pinterest. That's right. See, it's not just.
How does that work?
Hey, it's a lot of hard work, but we do that on IGTV. We do it on Facebook, Facebook Watch. We're everywhere. We're like a virus.
If you have a website, we're on it.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. And whatever you do, of course, tomar sabiamente.
Sip wisely.